Hello ladies and gentlemen and those in between, welcome back to my channel. Everett here, and today we're going to talk about Amore, the series. For today's video, I'm going to try my best not to be brutally honest, and I'm going to try my best to balance everything out, and I'm going to do my best to still be unbiased about what I think of the series, but quite frankly, I just can't contain my disappointment with this series right now. Anyway, first off, I've been a BL fan since 2014, and that was back when Lovesick, the series, became phenomenal. And if you guys haven't noticed yet, Lovesick, the series, is a Thai BL series, and it is dubbed as the mother of all BL series because it paved the way for other BL series like Make It Right, the series, Grey Rainbow, Sodas, Poppy Honey, Room Alone, Club Friday, and the list goes on. Now, I'm telling you this because I'd always wanted to start my YouTube channel, which would be perfectly designed for my love and passion for anything that's related to BL or LGBTQ+ community issues, and Amore BL series is actually what motivated me to start this channel. So, how did I feel about this series before I actually started watching it? I actually heard a lot of good feedbacks and comments on the first few episodes of this series, and that's pretty much the reason why I gave this series a try. And later in this video, I'm going to talk about more of my thoughts and my opinions of this series, so stick around. Amore is a story of an orphan named Joey, and he is a typical countryside teenager who goes to the city for college education. At first, he has trouble with his roommate Jimmy because both of them don't get along in so many things. But eventually, everything changes when Joey decides to help Jimmy hide his baby inside her room. While studying, they secretly take care of the baby, but also they fall secretly in love with each other. However, the big problem is that Joey is in a relationship with Will, who has these jealousy issues. Additionally, Nuan, a close friend of Joey and Will, is madly in love with Joey as well. And to make matters worse, Kenji, who is a teacher in Joey's college, is also in love with Joey. This is a story of a young guy who is torn between four lovers. Okay, let's talk about the five main characters: Joey, Jimmy, Will, Nuan, and Kenji. Joey is played by Erwin Vinaventura, and in this series, he is an orphan who knows nothing much about what city life is. And he goes to the city in order to go to college and pursue his dreams and ambitions. He stays in a dormitory where he meets Jimmy, who is played by Gray Arias. And when I first saw Jimmy, the very first thing that I noticed was he bore a striking resemblance to Pana of Two Moons 2, which is a Thai BL series, and I'm sure that some of you guys have also noticed the same thing. And the longer his hair grows, the more appealing to one's eyes he gets. And in this series, Jimmy is a spoiled brat who doesn't seem to care about people around him, and all he cares is how to enjoy his life. But behind the image he tries to portray are underlying problems, specifically family-related issues. And he thinks and feels that the world is against him, and everyone who he loves all leave him without him fully understanding why. The third main character is Will, who is played by Ivan Sarde, and in the series, Will is from a rich family, and his parents live in the United States, and he also lives in the same dormitory where Joey and Jimmy live. The fourth one is Nuan, who is played by Jules Indiola, and just like Joey, Nuan is also an orphan who, along with his older brother, are adopted by a gay guy who actually has an affair with Nuan's brother. Nuan goes to school where he studies with Joey and Will in the same class. The last main character is Kenji, and he is played by French Solano, and in this series he is a teacher who instantly falls in love with Joey at first sight. So four of these main characters, Jimmy, Will, Nuan, and Kenji, literally fall in love with the same exact guy, Joey. Gosh, does any one of you out there have a pair of scissors, because I'm so ready, like I was born ready to cut Joey's hair bald! Are you kidding me? Can you imagine yourself being in a situation where four guys are literally in love with you? That's hilariously crazy! Well, I guess Joey could give a better shot at Miss Universe than Rabia Mateo. I'm just kidding. Anyway, the 5 lead characters are not really the best looking characters in the BL universe. Well, except for Dre Arias, aka Jimmy, who is honestly my most favorite character in the series. And to my mind, Ivan Sarde, aka Will, is charming, and he also oozes massive sex appeal. Erwin Vinaventura, who plays the main character Joey, and Jules Indiola, aka Nuan, give a great acting performance in this series. Kenji, well, I'd rather not say anything. Other than the 5 main characters, I also love 4 of the supporting characters. Madame Tusha, played by Petite Brakovich, who is not so petite. Just kidding. Jelai, Brenda, and Pretty. These 4 characters spice the storyline up. I love Madame Tusha because despite being strict, she makes the regular effort to check on everyone in the house, and she does her best to encourage everybody to live harmoniously and try to get along with one another. I love Brenda and Jalai too because they're always there to protect their friends, and they do whatever can make their friends happy, and whenever their friends are down in the dumps, they're always there to listen. And I also love how Pretty switches from being annoyingly eavesdropping to being a good friend who cares. And I take so much delight in his interaction with Joey, and oftentimes people like this are the type of personality who is willing to die for their friends and the ones they love. He's one loyal friend who you can find in, and because of that, I've got a very special song. Keep smiling, keep shining, knowing you can always count on me, for sure. That's what friends are for. In good times, in bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for. Keep smiling, keep shining, knowing you can always count on me, for sure. That's what friends are for. In good times, in bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for. Yay. Okay, let's talk about my honest thoughts and opinions of the series. But like I said, I'm going to do my best to balance everything out, and I'm going to explain everything in such a nice way that nobody gets offended. Don't get me wrong, because I'm a huge fan of Amore, but I don't want to wear 2 faces and hide my disappointment, because I expected a lot from the series, and the finale was just such a disappointment. First of all, Amore the series starts out strong, especially the first 8 episodes. The storyline goes smoothly, the chemistry is there, and it can spark your interest off to continue to watch this series because the storyline is pretty relatable and realistic due to the fact that this series is actually based on a true story. But as episodes roll on, the storyline kind of drags out, and by drag out I mean there are some unnecessary scenes that are prolonged. And if you factor out these scenes carefully, these scenes could have actually lasted just 1 minute or a maximum of 3. And frankly speaking, I fell asleep on some of these scenes, and I was like, what? Is that about it? And now I have to wait for a few days for the next episode to be uploaded to YouTube. There are also a few more things I would like to discuss. First, the cinematography gives me this indie type of film vibe, which I understand because Amore is a small production. Secondly, the sound quality is a little poor, and I'm sure that you guys watching this video have already watched the series also agree with me. Like one moment the audio turns down automatically without you actually adjusting the volume, and it just turns up out of nowhere. And honestly speaking, it's distracting, and it's a little bit of irritating at certain times. Additionally, there are a lot of times when the musical score doesn't match up with the scenes. Let me explain this a little bit more in details. Let's say, for instance, the scene is a fighting scene or an intense scene, but the music background is a sad type of music or a melodramatic one. I mean, the scene loses its meaning because of the music, and honestly, it's upsetting. Finally, I would like to talk about a final episode, and I don't want to tell a lie, but I feel that the audience, especially the avid fans of the series, has been deprived of what they deserve. I understand that at work, and I'm talking about any type of work in general, it is inevitable to encounter problems or issues with our colleagues, and the real challenge the workers have to take in spite of not getting along with their co-workers is to stay professional. And I don't think I'm in the right position to talk about the issue between the director and the Star Image Digital Network because I don't exactly know what happened, but all I can say is regardless of what happens, the show must go on, and people in charge must know how to draw the line of professionalism and personal issues because it's just what it is. So what can we learn from this? I think that in order to avoid a situation similar to this again, it's much better to produce a not so long series, and by that I mean a 7 to 8 or even a 12 episode long series, because the longer the series is, the more tired people in charge of a production team gets. So their tiredness can somehow contribute to doing things on impulse, which can lead to unnecessary misunderstandings and difficulties dealing with one another. In this series, Will's dark side is revealed. It is shown how jealous he is as a partner, and he even frets over trivial matters. Let's say, for instance, he doesn't want Joey to get close with anybody, specifically Jimmy. So, for today's video, we are going to talk about jealousy. To my mind, jealousy is pretty usual, particularly when we are in love. If you don't get jealous even just a little bit, then we are not in love at all, and it's just as simple as that. Additionally, jealousy can make us realize how much the one we love mean to us and how the thought of them being with somebody else stings us right in the gut. I must say, a little jealousy can be healthy for our relationship, and to some degree, it helps keep the love alive. However, our chief responses to jealousy can result in different forms of emotions like sadness, anger, despair, anxiety, and even depression. And from a personal standpoint, extreme jealousy can be a byproduct of our insecurities. We get unreasonably jealous because we are not 100% sure whether the one we love loves us back in the same ways we love them. Another thing that I love about this series is the music background, and there's actually a slow version of it, but I'm not really familiar with the lyrics, and I still prefer the faster version of it, which doesn't have any lyrics. And because I love the music background very much, I added words to it which speaks about a guy who is confused because 4 guys are in love with him.
Titibok ang puso, dito ang ulo. Pagsabay-sabay kayong umibig, at ako ngayon'y gulong-gulo. Titibok-tibok ang puso, maari ba ako'y tigilan nyo? Ngunit ang totoo, kahit ako'y lito, ako'y umiibig sa'yo, amore. Titibok ang puso, lito-lito ang ulo. Pagsabay-sabay kayong umibig, at ako ngayon'y gulong-gulo. Titibok-tibok ang puso, maari ba ako'y tigilan nyo? Ngunit ang totoo, kahit ako'y lito, ako'y umiibig sa'yo, amore.
Amore is a story of pursuance of one's dream, dealing with jealousy and finding oneself through brokenheartedness. Everyone dreams of becoming who they want to be, but at certain times, because of being in a toxic relationship, they may lose track of whether they're still doing the right thing or not. Because of jealousy, a relationship that seems to be perfect can easily be jeopardized. That's why it is an absolute must to love ourselves before loving someone else, because a person who is full of love doesn't get jealous so easily. At times, we ask why the ones we love leave us and end up feeling bitter without realizing that brokenheartedness is an opportunity to find ourselves, to have a relationship with ourselves on a deeper level. And when the right one comes, we will be 100% ready to be in love again. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you like this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when my next video comes out. Peace outie! Another thing that I love about this series Another thing that I love about this series is the music background, and there's actually a story. Another thing that I love about this series is the music background, and there's actually a story.